Hey Watford fans, welcome back to the channel. James here to discuss all things transfers. The sun is shining, I'm in a positive mood. England though, unfortunately, have been knocked out of the FIFA World Cup. Absolutely gutted. I've got to say, this group of players have given us some great memories this tournament, most notably the 3-2 win at the Azteca. What a comeback that was. Some clutch moments from Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane. It wasn't enough though to get past Argentina, and for me, I can take losing in the World Cup semi-final. Absolutely. I've seen plenty of England failures in my relatively short life so far. What frustrated me most though was the manner in which we went out and how defensive Thomas Tuchel went in that final 25 minutes, half an hour. It wasn't for me the right mentality to have. I'm always a person who wants to go for the second goal rather than sitting back, and we invited so much pressure and allowed arguably the greatest player of all time to get moments on the ball. 2 assists for Lionel Messi, and they're through to face Spain in the World Cup final. England face France tomorrow on Saturday night, but yeah, a real sucker punch to end the tournament, absolutely. But the focus is very much on Watford now, the transfer window. And it feels like finally, in the past 24, 48 hours, we have woken up and realised we need to make some new additions. Okay, we'll start with the first of 3 main discussion points today. This story coming from Luca Bendoni at Sky Sports Italy, friend of the channel, of course. Hopefully we'll speak to Luca a little bit later in the transfer window. And this report is around Udinese striker Iker Bravo. Watford reportedly in talks to bring him to the club. It's unclear at this stage if that will be on a loan deal or a permanent transfer. From the people I have spoken to this morning, the initial suggestion is that both signings we'll discuss today from Udinese will be on permanent deals. The loan slots and spaces we have are limited as it is, and I think as well we have to think longer term with our loan spots. Later in the window, early, mid, late August, we may well have the opportunity, given our pre-existing relationship with Manchester City, to bring in a Stephen Mfuni, a Jaden Heskey. That's been the suggestion by some people online. And to fill up all our loan spots this early, I feel would be a little bit silly. So yeah, the suggestion at this stage is that both players we'll discuss coming in from Udinese will be on permanent transfers. Now, what is Bravo like as a profile? Is he an out-and-out number 9? Is he a player we can rely on to score 10, 15 plus goals in a championship season? The answer right now is no. Absolutely not. I think with Bravo, looking at his profile and his specific attributes, what he's best at on a football pitch, for me, he almost looks like a Georgie Shatfatatse replacement. He's a player who will float in that number 10 spot, find the half spaces, running behind in those channels, stretching the defence, a bit like Fernando Forestieri when he was at the club. I don't see Bravo coming in and being our starting number 9. If that's the case, I would have massive question marks about why that is. But if he is coming to be a Georgie replacement or adding on to the already quality wide options we have, then I don't personally have a massive issue with this signing. He isn't a prolific goal scorer, but what he can do well, as I've just said, is occupying them spaces, finding himself free, taking the ball on the turn and driving forward with pace. And those are the players I love to watch. My best memories at Watford are that of a Forestieri, a Mate Vidra, an Odion Igalo, getting the ball, spinning in behind, and using their pace to strike fear into defenders. And if Iker Bravo can even match 50% of what Mate Vidra managed at the club, then I feel this could be a real good signing. My only reservation, as I said, is that if he is coming in to be our third striking option alongside Kiram Garden Doumbia, then I don't think really makes much sense in my mind. But as a Georgi Shakfatatse replacement, then absolutely, I'm really excited to see what he can do. Next up on the Udinese Watford conveyor belt is left back Jordan Zemura. This story being reported by Adam Jury at the Watford Observer. And yeah, I've got to say, this is the first signing of the window so far where my ears have pricked up and I've got quite excited indeed. It feels like this transfer has been on the cards for such a long time. He's been linked with Watford before in previous seasons. I remember back in 2023, 2024, there was tentative suggestions that he might join the club. It didn't materialise at that point under Javi Gracia back in the January transfer window. There was reports that suggested Javi was offered the chance to sign Jordan Zamora but turned it down at the last moment. Finally though, it does seem to be coming to fruition, and I've got no doubt that Zamora would be a real astute addition, and for once it finally matches the statement issued to us by Scott Duxbury and other high-ranking figures at the club to sign players who have featured in the Championship before. And Jordan Zamora isn't any old player. He is a quality one at that and will be coming in to challenge Mark Boller for the starting spot. Don't get it twisted. Jordan Zemura has the potential to overtake Mark Boller in that left-back position. Regardless of the season Boller has just had, Zamora, if he gets going and into his flow, could be really fantastic for us. And this is a signing I'm so excited about. And I think at fullback now, whilst there's other positions of priority we need to strengthen immediately, we do look strong in those positions. On the right hand side, we have Jeremy Ngakia, who is now one of the longest serving players at the club. He seems to have got past his injury issues. Omar Traore has now officially signed for the club. Plenty of experience in the German Bundesliga and 28 years old as well. And on the left-hand side, we'll have Mark Boller and Jordan Zamora. So no complaints or qualms about this one. If it goes over the line, which is still a big if at this stage, yeah, I am very pleased with that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Jordan Zamora and Iker Bravo potentially joining Watford from Udinese on permanent transfers. And finally, goalkeeper Federico Ravaglia has landed in the UK and is currently undergoing his Watford medical ahead of a proposed loan move with option to buy. And before we speak on Ravaglia and why this deal makes sense, I think we need to touch on Egil Selvik and where his future lies. I think it was clear to me that after the World Cup, Egil would probably like to explore opportunities elsewhere, and I've got no doubts that at least personally Selvik will probably feel that if he moves to a bigger club in one of Europe's top 5 leagues, he could push for that Norwegian starting spot which Nyland currently occupies. And at Watford, especially towards the end of last season, a bit like what we saw with Dan Bachmann, he was starting to receive, rightly or wrongly, a lot of stick and flack from both fans online and in the stadium. And I don't think that's very conducive to a positive environment. And I think with Dan Bachmann, we saw it. Yes, criticism is valid if it's done in the right way, but at times it was bordering on quite abusive language towards Dan, and I felt with Egil Selvik we were starting to verge into that territory slightly. So I think it's right we probably part ways at this juncture, and Selvik will have high value as well. I don't think he's done much particularly wrong at Watford. Yes, he has his weaknesses. Of course he does. Any goalkeeper signing for Watford is never going to be the perfect article. But I think with Selvik, we got a rounded goalkeeper. He was pretty good at most things, but he was never excellent at one particular aspect of goalkeeping. His weakness was, as we know, command of his area, claiming crosses and reducing pressure from set piece situations. I think we can all agree on that. But with Ravaglia, who is going to be his replacement, we assume, we're getting a 6'6" guy, an Italian who has experience in the Europa League and has been a regular for Bologna, his club side in the Serie A. So actually, initially, when I first heard about this rumour, I was a bit like, this doesn't make much sense. Actually now, after a bit more consideration, with Selvik looking to move on, I understand why Watford are doing this deal. And with no money committed up front to Ravaglia either, financially it does make sense as well. So there we have it. 3 talking points, 3 potential new signings. Let me know your thoughts in the replies down below, and hopefully I'll be back very soon to discuss all of the latest Watford news. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure to check the Watford Way out across all social platforms. We're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, TikTok, and of course here on YouTube. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.